Hey ballers, welcome to If These Balls Could Talk, where we talk about the latest in sports, tech, and pop culture. This is Mark along with John and Pete, and we would like to welcome to the podcast for the very first time, Nate Johnson. Good evening, Nate.
Hey there.
Hey, Nate.
Hello.
How are things, Nate?
They're good.
Cool.
Past my bedtime here.
Yeah, I know.
It's all good.
It's going to be past all of our bedtimes.
Secret mission.
Yeah.
Secret mission. Mark, can we have a secret mission soundbite for your secret mission?
What do you want it to sound like? Like
I don't know, whatever
super secrets.
Yeah.
Super Secret Mission 5000.
Secrets. There's a middle school club in the capital region called Secrets. Has a very bad commercial and it's super funny. They go secret, secret, secret.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Anyway, John, how you been?
Go Knicks, everybody. Knicks up 41-30 in the middle of the second quarter.
That's what John's up to right now.
I'm very distracted. The game is not going off. I have been a little bit enraptured with this year's New York Knicks. Not to mention the fact that they're good. They're really fun, and kind of scrappy, and they're a cool team. So we'll talk about that later, obviously. But it's good. Jamie and I have gotten to a habit of getting ice cream on Thursdays, and so I got ice cream today, which I felt really good about.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, that's about it. How are you, Mark? How is the secret mission going? The aforementioned secret mission.
The secret mission is just making me super, super late to this show, unfortunately. But
yeah, we apologize.
Things are going really well.
You guys can blame Mark in the comments. That's fine.
Absolutely,
he deserves it, honestly.
I do.
That is it.
Wait, we have a soundboard for that, right?
That is a truth fact.
Oh, we do.
Yep.
We do. Nice.
But you know, it's springtime. Things are just busy all around. I mean, we just we just had our a New Year's for our company because the fiscal year started this week. It's a really, really funny calendar. But and then, you know, real estate trying to close some deals here and there. Real estate's been very busy. There's this young couple that I'm going around with, trying to find their first home, and I don't know. It's really exciting. This is one of the reasons why I started doing real estate, was to help people kind of find their first home, because it's a really good feeling when you buy that first home.
Oh yeah,
I'm still stuck on my first home.
Okay.
That's okay.
I'm in my first home right now. Yeah.
Pete, how are you?
good. This one of the huge projects, actually several huge projects in my company, including one that I've been supervising for a while, just wrapped as of today.
Yeah.
So woohoo! And
twist.
Yeah, no, life is good. Liam's doing great. He actually sat up mostly on his own power for the first time today.
I saw the picture.
Yeah, he was
real true story.
Just had a little boppy pillow behind him, and he was just like do 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 do, like at daycare. It was adorable. And yeah, so Steph and I are doing all right with Liam. And what else? Oh yeah, Pearl Jam has a new album out, Dark Matter.
Ooh.
And it's actually good. Like the last two I was kind of like a little disappointed with. You know, like this isn't the same band that I grew up with, but this one is actually it's kind of baller. Ha! No pun intended for the show.
Wait, we have a sound bite for that. Ready?
I mean, you don't have to call out all the sound bites.
There's a sound bite coming.
I'm only doing that. I'm only doing that because I'm not ready to actually play it. So I'm trying.
I will know officially press the sound bite appropriate for this situation now. See? Okay.
Fart poop.
All right. Mark, any updates on the super secret mission?
I just gave it.
Okay.
We already talked to Mark.
Yeah.
Pete, be better at radio.
I don't know. It's
What are we all drinking tonight?
beer.
I had a sad, I just told the story in the green room. I had a sad day, so I finished my scotch bottle, and then I brought a nib of SoCo.
A nib.
And so
It's-
right now I'm drinking SoCo.
It's
Not a
sad.
sponsor.
Look at this bottle size comparison.
Nate's bourbon is better than mine.
I do have a
I
second
get to
can.
go downstairs.
I have a second can in a thing full of ice so that it stays cold.
That's pretty good, Pete.
Yeah.
That's pretty ingenuitive.
A can and a shaker.
Ghetto engineering here.
I saw Mark pouring a drink. What were you pouring, Mark?
I have Lefroy.
The
This is one of my
Freud.
This is
Fancy.
one of my favorite scotches. Not a sponsor. Although I have one of those gimmicky things where I own like a square inch of peat moss or something like that.
Is that how you do that?
At the Lefroy
Lefroy.
distillery.
So I love the Islay scotches, which tend to be really, really smoky.
They're very
Like I love a
peaty.
scotch you can smell from another room.
I like to say that Mark likes his scotch to taste like Scottish toilet water.
I will. Hey,
I mean, it's
That implies you've had Scottish toilet water.
I will say I do
I
enjoy
I drink a
Lagavulin,
lot of scotch.
which is very Islay, like Scottish heavy.
Islay, Mara.
Islay.
He literally just said it.
I know.
It's okay. Pete's
Dude,
new here.
my brain is so fried. All right.
All right, let's get to know our friend Nate, shall we? So Nate, as I mentioned a little bit before, you and I worked together at another gig, and I first got to know you through the virtual world of Zoom. And your backdrop has always had a certain draped fowl around you, as you have right now, and because you are an avid duck hunter. So aside from the old Nintendo game, which you may or may not be too young to have played, what got you into duck hunting, and any good stories come to mind from one of your trips?
Yeah, so I have played the game Duck Hunting. I have an older brother that we had that old legacy Nintendo. I'm pretty sure it's up in my attic right now. I need to get that out. So I had the old Nintendo gun in there too. So actually, I didn't grow up duck hunting. My uncle, growing up, like Thanksgiving and Christmas and everything, is during duck season. So my uncle and my cousin would always leave to go duck hunting, and I would be like, I'm stuck here with the family. Which is a good thing in times, but like sometimes it's like kind of boring. I'm like, I want to leave too. So when I was 20, I picked it up for the first time. Went over there, and anyone that duck hunts knows that like the first time you go, you get hooked almost immediately, regardless if you're shooting ducks or not. Just the camaraderie with people and friends is fun. And just again with duck hunters, everyone's got to one up each other. So I'm not going to talk about the best hunt I've ever been on, because every time it's funny. I was in Mexico a couple weeks ago with my wife, and we ran across a couple, and he was a duck hunter too, and he immediately started talking about all the ducks he kills. I'm like, I wasn't going to feed his ego at all, and just like, well, this is my story now. Let me hear your one up. But one of the funniest stories I had was me and a couple buddies were trying to get back to this duck blind. I had no idea where I was going. I was trusting my cousin, who is not he was not the most coordinated which directions we were going. And we were using this little tiller handle prop motor, and we spun the prop off. Like we were just stuck in the middle of the trees. And I was like, pretty deep water. So I just, it was a small boat, so we only take like 3 people at a time. And I had another buddy that was waiting for me to come back and get him. And I just remember being stuck, because I was on the way back to get him. I just remember being stuck on a tree, not being able to move, and just hugging this tree. Like, but you were close enough, because we were on like a private property, where I was just yelling at my buddy Harrison. I was like, dude, I need you to come get me. I don't care how. Just come get me. And about 10 minutes later, he found like this little dinky kayak and had a snow shovel, and was snow shoveling his way through all these trees. Just
Amazing. The snow shovel as a paddle.
Yeah, it was great.
Awesome.
And I was like, oh my God, thank God I have
That's
Harrison.
awesome.
That's probably like one of the more sketchy times where I was like, oh man, am I really gonna have to swim in this cold ass water?
Fantastic.
I was literally standing there hugging this tree. I was like, okay, left, I think there's a field over there, and right, it's closer to the house. So if I swam that way, at least I would get to heat quicker.
So I'm going to ask an uninformed question. Do you do your own duck calls, and can we hear them, or do you have some sort of device that does that?
That's illegal. You can't use devices.
You can't use devices?
Oh, wow.
No.
So you have to.
Is that a state thing though?
No. So during duck season, like duck hunting, you can only use like mouth calls. There's only one season outside of the
Well, then you just walked right into that. So come on, let's hear it.
Well, yeah, so
Yeah, we gotta.
no, you got these snow geese that are just like kind of tearing up the tundra where all these ducks and geese like breed. And so these snow geese are getting overpopulated. So they have their own special season after duck season that you're allowed to use electronic calls and everything, there's no limit on them either.
Mhm.
So you can shoot as many as you want. It's like the government's way of like herding the population down.
I was gonna say
without
it's
having
like
to pay for
population
it.
control.
Exactly. It's exactly what they're going for. And it's a way for them to make money off of it too, because you're going through a couple cases of shells that cost $300 a case. So just saturates the market.
Interesting.
I would blow a duck call in here, but it would be really loud, and they're outside, and I'm not going to get on.
Oh, man.
All right, well, we'll get one next time.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll bring my duck calls in here next time. I'll hang them on my mallards back here.
I literally just have like the sound effects from the Nintendo game Duck Hunt in the back of my head right now.
I mean, that's clearly the way it
Right?
works.
And a dog laughing at you when you miss.
Yeah.
That dog was a dick.
Oh,
Trust
he's an
me, man.
asshole.
Fuck that guy.
You hunt with some dogs that are used to picking up something every time you shoot, and you miss a group and after because the dogs are watching all the time. You're not.
Yeah.
You miss a big group, and I'm sorry, Cooper. We just missed, man.
Oh.
He's like,
What? I found them all? What? Oh,
he did his part.
Yes.
Man, he did his part.
I love dogs, except for that one in Duck Hunt. That one was. Oh,
A smirk little asshole.
I know.
Yeah.
So
We're at time, Pete.
as far as shooting stuff, like, how about shooting golf balls? I hear you're quite the avid golfer. And
It's quite the segue, Pete.
there you go. I always try. And
Segue.
so, as a Memphis resident, right? You're a frequent visitor of the FedEx St. Jude Championship at TPC Southwind. That's pretty cool to go and attend. How long have you been going to this tournament, and what courses are on your bucket list? And any big ones that you've already golfed at?
Sure. So I can't remember how many years consecutively I've been, but I started going when I was probably 12, 13 years old. My dad was an ex-mini tour player, so every chance he had to take me out.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's why I grew up playing started playing when I was like 5 years old.
Oh,
My brother was good at golf too. He wasn't as good as I was. I don't know.
Was your dad trying to train you to be the next Tiger Woods?
Not necessarily. No, he wasn't as hard on me as I saw my other buddies' dads on them, which I'm grateful for because I know this is off topic of the question, but
it's okay.
I had a couple of my buddies that I played with in high school, and their dads were just on their asses all the time, practicing, go. Those guys don't play golf anymore.
I was going to say, it makes the game not fun.
They quit. They
You
quit
still have
the
to-
game after high school.
Right. It's one thing if you're self-motivated to that point, but if you're
Yeah.
just pushed from that young of an age, you never get to learn to love the sport first.
Yeah. And I couldn't imagine not playing golf on the weekends with my buddies right now. So I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
But again, St. Jude Classic, it's a great tournament. Been going for, like I said, probably 15, 18 years now. And just recently, it's the first leg of the WGC title at the end of the season. So now we get all the big names. See, previously, it used to be the week before the U.S. Open. So we would never get the big names because they were all just grinding away, getting ready for the U.S. Open. I wish they would make Southwind hard again because a couple years ago, I don't know, 10 years ago or so, I think the winning score was like 2 or 3 under. I was like, yeah, love that. The rough was super thick. The greens were lightning fast, which they still have that. I don't know why it was 3 under that year. And now it's like, 12 to 15 wins that tournament.
Damn.
Yeah, they're good. Those guys are good.
Yeah.
But the last couple of years have been Lucas Glover was fun to watch. I remember my girlfriend at the time, wife now, we watched Brooks Koepka walk up 18 when he won. I was there the year DJ
so cool.
to win 18. Yeah, it was cool. The fun thing about that tournament too, if you go on Thursday and Fridays, it's pretty chill. And I recommend this to anybody going to a tournament. Go Thursday and Fridays. The tour players aren't as like focused and locked in. You can actually talk to them on the range and stuff. And the range right there at Southwind is like right there on the edge line. So sitting there talking to Adam Scott, Davis Riley. My wife was like, "You just gonna talk to them?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're just humans.
They're just people.
Yeah, they're still right. They're just really good at golf.
You ever go during the practice rounds, Nate?
I have not. I've been to the.
So they're even more relaxed during the practice
I
rounds.
believe it.
Been to the pro-am before. So courses that I played, probably the best one I played, which is not something that most people are going to recognize the name of. It's called Lionhead. It's up in Toronto area. When I looked up, I was traveling a bunch for work up there, and I just looked up and like, hey, I just want to play golf, and it said, hey, Lionhead's actually right down the road, and it's a top 10 public golf course in North America.
No shit.
By far the most pure golf course I've ever played in my life.
I wonder if my dad's ever played there.
Really?
I grew up in. I was gonna say, like, how far outside of Toronto? Because like my family lives
Mississauga, because I was staying in Mississauga.
Okay. I'll have to ask him about that one.
it was great. And like being from the South, we get you get Georgia fairways and Bermuda grass mostly. Up there, it's all bent grass, and it was just awesome. Taking divots this big, and you're hitting the ball solid.
Nice.
So that was by far the best course I've played. And obviously the biggest bucket list would be to somehow get on Augusta. That'd be
the Masters.
Yeah, I love that tournament. St. Andrews is probably one of the more realistic, most iconic courses I want to get to. I will do that in my life before I die. Bethpage Black, I know one of y'all is from New York. Definitely on my bucket list courses to play.
Long Island, right?
Yeah. And it's public too. It's
a public course. Yeah.
It's first come, first serve. You get in a line at like 3 a.m. and just, all right, you're first, go. And then I've had a couple of buddies play Pinehurst. I have actually a buddy in my group here in Memphis. His family's members at Pinehurst, so we're going to take a trip over there here soon.
Actually, someone that used to work for the same company that we do, she works at Pinehurst now, and she told me anytime I go down to Charlotte area, like
you two should go.
Yeah, there's like 10 courses on this like one plot of land. Like they have like 10 different courses.
Holy, that's a huge amount of land.
And the one that they usually play on is number 2. Or the harder one for like the later rounds.
Okay.
Yeah. The U.S. Open's there this year.
That's cool.
And then the last 2 I would like to play is get out to California and play Pebble Beach.
Pebble Beach. Got $1,000?
Yeah, it's because you gotta stay in the resort now, and then you got to obviously pay the greens fee and then the caddy fee along with it.
I'll always remember Pebble Beach from, I think there was an old Super Nintendo game, maybe Pebble Beach Golf Links, or it was a PC game from like way back. On like Windows 3.1, and then also, yeah,
that shows your age. That shows your age.
1900 something.
And the third version of Windows.
No, and also for Tiger Woods swearing at the ocean when he shanked a drive during a major. Immortalized.
I think he won that one too.
He probably did. It was in that decade of span where he won everything.
Pure domination.
Yeah. Very cool, man. I'm a little jealous. I haven't golfed in a long time, but I'd love to get back. This is like making me inspired to get back out there.
I remember growing up as a kid, I'd always wait until Augusta, the Masters, to start playing again. So that's the time like, hey, spring's coming. Let's get back on the course. Love that golf tournament.
Fantastic.
Go ahead, John.
All right, well, let's finish it off, guys. And I'm still completely distracted. The Knicks had a great first quarter. And a terrible second quarter. So
we had to know they were going to make it close.
Oh, fuck that. I don't need that anymore. They were just going to win, and now I'm concerned. So back to Nate. While you may be from Memphis, we hear you're a Vikings fan. So please tell us how that came about and how many games have you been able to attend being so far away?
Yeah, so my dad's originally from Minnesota. He met my mom down in Kentucky where they met, but long-time Vikings fan. The whole family's still up there. So had the pain of being a Vikings fan for 33 years of my life now. It's been a lot of up and down, obviously, a lot of action going on right now with them, which is fun. We're in the, we've had great receivers the last couple, probably going on 10 years now with Diggs and Justin Jefferson, which is fun.
And before that, Chris Carter and Randy Moss.
Yeah, Randy Moss.
Oh, yeah.
So growing up, that was down here in the South, you do not get Vikings games. Like you see you see Green Bay on TV all the time. It's just so annoying, of course. But the only games you get to catch the Vikings recently are the Sunday night games, the Thursday night games, or Monday night. You don't want to watch those. Might as well go ahead and chalk a loss up on those.
Oh no!
So,
well, that was because of Kirk Cousins, but he's not there anymore.
Primetime Kirk was never the best.
We'll get into that a little later.
Yeah. But I've been to only recently have I been to games. I've been to 2. One time we were traveling up there for a project, and they were playing on a Sunday, so we flew up at 8 a.m. There's a direct flight from Memphis to Minnesota at 6 a.m. So you get there at like 8:30. So we caught the noon game against Detroit. We won that one. That was a fun game. That was the first time I'd seen the stadium too. So I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah, and then a couple years ago, my wife and I, we went up there for a Sunday night football game against the Cowboys, and we actually did like the stadium tour. We tailgated before it was nice because typically you hear northern people aren't the most friendliest, and from the south, we're always just so welcoming at like tailgates and stuff, especially like college football, Ole Miss, Auburn, all the games that I tailgate at. But yeah, people were super welcoming us just coming up, and that quad area they have in front of the U.S. Bank Stadium is massive and always activities to do.
I was gonna say I thought people from Minnesota were super nice. I mean, have you ever watched the show How I Met Your Mother?
Yes,
like they're always super nice and on that show.
When I went to out to Minneapolis,
it's almost Canada.
15 years ago now. They were.
Was it that long?
It was a long time. It was before Jamie, and Jamie's 11. So, and then it wasn't right before. So, 13 maybe. But yeah, they were like, I remember when we got out there the first night we had dinner, and like the waitress was like so stereotypical. She was like, "Oh, you're from New York, yeah, don't you know?" I'm like, "Oh, so great!" I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome. Your voice is amazing."
I remember the first time because my grandmother sounds just like that.
Yeah, of course.
She says, "Don't you know?" all the time. I'm just like, oh,
I love it.
Does she still live there?
No, she's down in Florida now with my uncle.
I had a friend who, he's from Minneapolis, and he lived in Massachusetts. I worked with him for many years, and his Minnesota accent would come out, but only when he was really drunk, and so it was really fun to fuck with him. He was like, "Oh, really? Oh, is it exciting?"
Whoa.
That's great.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a cool guy.
But yeah, so that stadium tour was really cool. The group that we were with had a couple guys that we were drinking the whole time. Remember had to run off to the bathroom.
So, like, what are our feelings about Packers and the Packers and Packers fans? Do we hate them or do we not hate them because we're so far away?
Talking about me?
Yeah, you.
I don't like the team. The team itself. I hadn't had bad interactions with the fans themselves. It's just the team. I kind of respect them. Like they had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers for so long. You got two really good quarterbacks forever. It's hard to knock them, and like their fans aren't obnoxious. Like not like Eagles fans. I just it's just crazy to me how they're the fucking worst. I've never met a
love you, Stoltz Foos.
Yes. Yeah. I love how It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia like immortalize that too.
Yeah. I just never met a team that's more widely hated than the Eagles.
Cowboys.
Flyers.
Yeah. Well, also
pretty much anyone in the NFC East.
Yeah.
Right, John?
Shut your face.
Fucking Giants. All right, everyone. Shall we kick off the shindig?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get going, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Mystic Brews Coffee Company. Wake up to the magic of game day with Mystic Brews Coffee. Each bean is selected for its robust flavor and energy-boosting properties. Mystic Brews, where every cup is a winning play. I'm getting better at those.
I feel like that one needed a sound effect though at the end. Like
that was fantastic.
Yeah, like coffee brewing or something.
All right, I lost my next topic.
So there's a Mystic Hills Brewing, and I'm looking at
Stop looking this up, research department.
I think this is just the most amazing part of your fake ads.
Well, it's got to get it from somewhere, right?
Right. All right. So
there's a book.
All right.
To start the first topic.
Brews?
Well, you can tell by the way I talk out loud. It's the next topic. No time to pout.
Nice.
You're so good at singing.
That was really good.
I said next topic. I meant to say first topic, but it's okay.
It's okay.
Anyway, in late breaking news,
breaking.
It was announced that the NCAA has to fork over $2.7 billion after an antitrust case just wrapped. Now, this was a result of recent changes with NIL, and athletes wanted to be compensated for the NCAA using their name, image, and or likeness for things like jerseys and video games. Now, it seems that the NCAA is solely responsible for footing the bill, and none of the schools were deemed liable. So, everyone, what does this mean for the future of the NCAA and college sports altogether?
I mean, they're going to try to recoup this cost somehow from colleges or players or something.
NCAA is a nonprofit organization, Pete.
So how do they even afford this? How does a nonprofit have $2.7 billion to even pay this thing?
That is an excellent question.
Oh my gosh.
Solely responsible. 2.7. I don't know how that's going. Excuse me. I don't know how this is supposed to get allotted to all the athletes. I don't think that's come out yet, but They're liable for $2.7 billion.
And that's the athletes that of recently they've
for the last 10 years, I guess.
I was gonna say, is this for all time where big colleges were making a ton of money?
Yeah.
10 years is still a long time.
It's about a 10-year gap.
But when did the NIL started? Like 5 years ago, right?
Less than that.
Yeah, less.
I think it's been like 3 years, if that.
I mean, for a while, college sports were making a shitload of money off of essentially minors. And they were doing it, telling them that they couldn't make money off of themselves. And if they did, they would be kicked off teams, right? And so we obviously knew that was unethical. And so the understanding that this is like a catch-up from a situation that needed to be fixed, that was fixed, but maybe too late, makes a little sense. You remember when we were in college, guys, and I'm
just going to say no.
I drank a lot.
I forget the acronym, but the music association came down on copyright protection.
Napster, right?
Well, but Napster, but like there was an organization, I just don't remember it, but they sued this poor kid who created a search engine for our college network, which was in the terabytes at that point.
Oh, specifically our school.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Okay.
They sued the kids who built this for every instance of copyright infringement to the order of like $100 million. And obviously, this 20-year-old doesn't have $100 million.
How's the kid going to pay the back?
But big organizations want to make an example, and they want to get the legal precedent of this example on the books. I don't think the NCAA pays $2.7 billion. I don't think they're worth that much. Why would they be worth that much? But
they get an awful lot of money from ad revenue and from TV contracts, March Madness, college football.
I think March Madness is their biggest revenue maker,
but like
by far.
Yeah.
2 point. Let's here. We're gonna ask the research department what the NCAA is worth.
I am fairly certain that the NCAA pulls at least $2.7 billion just for March Madness alone.
Damn.
Almost $1.3 billion in revenue during the 2003 fiscal year, or 2020. 23.
I was gonna say 2003.
Where's your heart? So their net assets at only $565 million. They don't have the money. Period.
What
Hard stop.
Do they have? They must have a building somewhere.
Hard stop. Don't have the money.
So one of the reasons why I asked what is the future of the NCAA, some people are actually thinking there's no purpose of the NCAA anymore because conferences are like self-governing themselves. And there's even talks about some of the super teams branching off into their own thing. You know, we've heard this in other sports like soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And just, again, having their own organization. Like, it'd be like, you know, the Alabamas of the world and the Auburn.
It's the SEC and the Big Ten are the two big conferences. I think they're just like, why don't we just...
Let's just do this ourselves.
Yeah. It's exactly what they've been talking about doing.
And it's kind of going that way because we're now seeing certain conferences almost like... Geography means nothing for conferences anymore. I mean, you have
Pac-12 just have teams now on the East Coast and the ACC.
I don't even think I don't even know how many teams are in the Pac-12 anymore.
They're just banned. It's gone. Pac-12's gone.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So a lot of people seem to think that like a lot they're just gonna consolidate into like 4 to 6 conferences now.
Who does the scheduling? Does the NCAA handle the scheduling these days?
No, the colleges are the ones that handle the schedules, except the conference schedule.
How big would these conferences be?
Well, if you take into consideration what they are, like the number of Division 1A schools there are now, you would have to have like a good amount, like I don't know, like 15 to 20 per conference if you're going to have like 4
or 5, yeah.
So that to me seems to think that they're not going to consolidate into that few. They might consolidate into, I don't know, 8.
Mm-hmm.
But still, there's no with NIL like into effect, and there's really like what rules is the governing body of the NCAA supposed to do now?
It needs a governing body, though, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well. With the way the NAL is right now, it's just gone crazy.
It's awful. I personally hate it because
go ahead.
The reason I hate it so much is because
there's no rules.
I remember as a kid, like you would fall in love with like people on the team. You would see them there for 3 or 4 years. Now it's like, I mean, I know Memphis Tigers here, for example, they're funneling in 5 new starters every year.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that starter from last year, you'll never see him again because he's probably a transfer senior or he's a freshman that didn't play and now he's just mad and it's just going to go to the next school.
Because you're mainly talking about basketball, right?
Yeah. And football. I mean, it's pretty common for them to move around in football too.
I mean, the transfer portal, I think and the transfer portal has to exist to allow them to make the most money. But the transfer portal, I think, is the biggest problem.
Mm-hmm.
I agree
too.
Yeah.
But it's the Wild West right now. There's like no rules. So if there's no rules, then why do you need a governing body, right?
And on top of that, we've talked about this, but we lose the point of these people going to college, right? They're not going to college to go to college. It's just a beginning of their professional sports career, and it doesn't matter where they go. It doesn't matter where they're at, and it loses a degree of fairness, right? Because the bigger schools will have the best players because they have money.
That's the biggest reason why I hate it, because my brother went to Auburn, so I'm an Auburn fan. All the fans that like Alabama here, I do not like you, but they historically have the biggest budget out of all of them. They have the biggest donors, and they will flood the market. And just as a 18-year-old kid, why would I not go to a school that's going to pay me the most money?
No,
it's just financially not right.
Well, and especially we were talking about this for football players, but for football players, especially the skill positions like running back, the chances of you not being able to play into your late 20s are not low. They're pretty high.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So get paid quick, man, because who knows?
That's what they were talking about. Blake Watson from Memphis. He's an older senior running back, and he didn't get drafted because their scouts were telling him, like, you have your miles already on you. Why would we draft you? Yeah. He's like 23.
Poor old Stenson Bennett from Georgia. He got drafted by the Rams. He didn't play season 1 at all because of some weird issue. I don't think.
Is that still a thing?
2.
Is he still a thing?
I mean, he's not a thing because he was like a 25-year-old, NFL freshman, and I mean that's it, right? Done.
I mean, he's probably still on the Rams, right, with his rookie deal.
I mean, his rookie deal of not playing, practicing, or doing anything.
I don't know.
We're out of time, so.
All right. So someone have a next topic. If not, I'll just go off my list.
You go off your list because your list is amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Pete, I might need your help with this, and I think you'll know when to chime in. I think. Ready?
Let's do it.
Next topic.
Dun, dun,
Next
dun,
topic.
dun, dun,
Next
dun, dun, dun.
Next topic.
Oh, never mind. Next topic. That sounded like the intro to The Simpsons.
I know what
I
it
guess
was.
so. I guess you're right. That's it. Go ahead.
But yeah, that was good.
If we go longer, we have to pay for it.
Let's ruin the whole thing. So, one of my favorite stories of this week is Bill's new star wide receiver, Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman has arrived in Buffalo with the hopes of replacing the void left by Stephon Diggs. Reports out of Buffalo are both Bill Bean and Josh Allen wanted
Brandon
Coleman.
Bean.
So Brandon Bean.
Sorry.
So their draft day acrobatics look like well-played politics. Coleman has so far been a bit of a character, speaking very openly at his first press conference about anything, and running around the field with zero cares in the world like a 12-year-old. Which is either adorable or kind of weird.
He also
early 20s, right?
Yeah. He also went into the cryo chamber and then said, like, hold on, take an epic photo with all the lights off. And he came out and all wrapped in like the steam from the cryo chamber.
He was telling them about where he got his puffy jackets at Macy's and how they have a lot
that's
of
one of my
colors.
favorite sound bites.
Bought them in the summer.
It's like, who's got some good clothes? Macy's.
Yeah, I did not expect that.
He's
I hope he gets paid for that now.
He's like, yo, can I have these? They're like, yeah.
No, he didn't. He paid for him. It's like, yo, $79, $89 right off the rack.
Middle of the summer, puffy jacket.
Yes.
He's not wrong.
I'm already worried
about
it.
You should be worried. He's very troublesome. So my question is, how do you feel about the choice of Coleman, the future in Buffalo, and will he be the dark horse of the draft?
I really, really want to like this guy because he seems so likable, but I don't care unless
apparently
he
Josh
catches
Allen,
100 passes and gets 1,200 yards.
apparently Josh Allen
And, like,
is
10
very
touchdowns.
into drafting. He watched all the tape, and his guy was Keon Coleman. I mean, it's very easy for them to say that after the fact with this weird ass pick, but
So I did
who
hear
knows?
he was the guy Josh wanted that was left at the end of day one.
Okay.
Apparently, Brandon Beane went on the Pat McAfee show. Great show, by the way. And
Not a sponsor.
No, not a sponsor, but he could be.
Not yet.
Yeah. And Brandon Beane, I guess, let go that him and Josh were talking, and Josh kept coming to him with all of these mock draft results and saying, like, hey, can we do this? And Brandon Beane goes, dude, like, your first 5 rounds all have players in the top 50 of our board. That's just not possible. Like, that's not going to happen, Josh. Sorry. So
It's not nice that he's invested in it, though.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if he was really, I'm sure he was towards the top of people that he wanted, but that may be considering that, like, the big 3, right, were just unobtainable.
So he's got the same measurements, relatively similar with regards to height and weight, with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Rome Odunze. So
Odunze,
yeah. So he's 6'4", 215. Marvin Harrison Jr. is 6'4", 205, and Odunze is 6'3", 215.
I mean, the way they talk about his game is he's stronger and faster. At least that's what they are saying. He's stronger and faster than other guys. He's stronger and faster than corners. You throw the ball up, he'll get it. I mean,
he's not faster. He's slow. That's the problem.
Well, right.
So faster than we are.
Well,
yeah, I mean, 215. Yeah.
But what do big wide receivers bring that maybe the guys like Tank Dell don't?
I mean, if they're
End
good
zones.
durability over the middle, they can handle hits. If he's a good route runner, the problem is he's not even a good route runner. He doesn't get separation, and this
can
is
learn.
the receivers that size that can't get separation and aren't fast, they don't do well in the NFL. Like,
I mean,
all I'm
he
thinking
could still
about
be
is
a good red zone target, though.
all I'm
He
thinking
does
about
not
is
seem like a smart man.
Kelvin Benjamin.
Oh, it's fade too.
I
Or
think he is. He shops at Macy's.
right, I just think of Kelvin Benjamin, which was a disaster, or
Oh,
especially
yeah,
towards the end of
Calvin
his career,
Benjamin.
or at best, we've replaced Gabe Davis with another Gabe Davis that has slightly better hands.
Gabe
that's-
Davis
that's not-
2.0.
Gabe Davis wasn't even good enough to be a wide receiver 2. How is this guy?
Team too.
Yeah, how is this guy supposed to be a wide receiver 1? It's just not happening.
I mean, though, maybe you guys just follow the strategy of the rest of the NFL and just become a tight end team, and Dawson Knox is the solution.
Well, Dawson
Knox
Knox
is a very good player.
There's
right?
nothing
He's
wrong with having 3 tight ends on the field,
well,
Pete.
Knox is their TE too. Don't forget, Dalton Kincaid's their new guy,
Yeah, Dalton
Yeah.
Kincaid, right?
but he's
I
still
mean-
not. The thing is that works when you have Travis fucking Kelce, Pat Mahomes throwing the ball to him, and Andy Reid coaching them. And this is why I don't want to hear the excuse of, well, they got all these weapons. Look at Dalton Kincaid. Yeah, no. Sorry. You need a dominant WR1 that is the shit. And you just traded one away, and you let your number 2 guy walk in free agency.
For a hamburger.
What are you doing?
By the way,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
a
nut.
hamburger.
I
mean-
a hamburger. I think a grilled cheese.
Oh, we lost Mark's mic.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Can
on
you hear
you're on a backup mic. But yes, a grilled cheese, Mark. You are correct.
Yes. I mean, it was a really good. It's a really good grilled cheese next year.
No, it's not.
A second round pick at that might be towards the top of the second round because I don't
For
know.
a top 5 wide receiver?
He's not a top
I
5
mean,
wide receiver anymore.
You don't think so?
I don't think Diggs is top
No.
5 anymore.
No, it down the stretch he was actually one of the
Mid at
worst
best.
of the receivers of the Bills.
Yeah. It could
Unfortunately.
have been also relationship too with Allen. Seemed like that was kind of
Yeah, I don't know because whenever you ask both of them, they were like, "No, we're fine." Like, yeah, we fight. They're like, families fight. That was Diggs' thing. He's like, we're still family. He's like, sure, yeah, we yelled at each other. It happens.
like Diggs gets that way. He got that same way with Minnesota too at the end.
Like when Kelsey
Yeah.
tackled Andy Reid in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
But I don't know. I mean,
Football.
Football.
Yes,
You're back, Mark.
you're back. And I don't know. I'm too deep into this. What do you guys think?
I think he's a problem. Honestly, he does
You
not.
think he's a
seem
problem, really?
those press conferences, he's a mess right now. He is excited to get.
He's a kid.
He only ate half of the cookie at the interview media table because he said he didn't want to take too much sugar.
He just likes to get snacks, and I don't know.
He might have just.
Where's his gold digger girlfriend who's going to turn into his gold digger wife like JJ McCarthy? Like, I mean, Jesus, like it's just not. It doesn't have the right picture.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch him enough at Florida State. I didn't watch Florida State much.
Mm-hmm.
No,
they weren't in the playoffs.
No, he's an average player.
Yeah,
he's an average player going on a team that is still trying to compete for the Super Bowl, right?
They're trying to win their division, yeah.
Average in college too. Like I actually watched some game footage of his, and it not just the highlights, but like typical like targets this season, and it looked like half of them were stupid drops and just he was never open. He was always in coverage and fighting for balls and just in bad situations. And then once in a while he'd break open this big pass. So basically Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
Where you get 3 catches, 0 to 3 catches for 3 games in a row, and then you go off and have a big game.
I'm going to ask you a question. How mad are you going to be when Xavier Worthy has a top 15 season, let's say, 700 yards?
I don't see that happening.
Really? With the best quarterback in football.
That was a Chiefs pick, right?
Yeah, that was.
Mark,
the Bills traded to them.
It will happen because the Bills traded the Chiefs that pick. The universe will realign and make sure it happens.
And there we go.
Yep.
Topic over.
Gosh.
Landed. We just landed that plane, Pete.
Yeah.
That Worthy kid's got wheels, right? He's like runs a 4.3.
Fastest combine ever. Fastest 40-yard combine ever.
4.21.
Oh God.
Yep. Not just like 4.29. No. 4.21. He was almost in the 4.1s.
Yeah. With Marquise Brown and Rashee Rice.
Uh-huh. And Pat Mahomes throwing him the freaking ball.
Rashee Rice might not be playing next year.
Yeah,
Travis Kelce.
Right. Can I just say what I wish the Bills would have done? Sorry, I know you were trying to...
We're out of time.
Okay,
take
fine.
Xavier Worthy. No, Pete can speak. We started 20 minutes late.
The chips have fallen. This is where it goes. Let's move on.
No, say your piece, Pete, because it won't come back.
Pick Worthy at 28 because the Chiefs are on the phone asking about it. Yeah. Okay, so you deny them that. And then use the 10 fucking draft picks and the 4 fifth-round picks that you have to trade back up into the second round and get Leggett or A.D. Mitchell or anybody.
I mean, how far do you think Keon Coleman would drop? I mean, they picked him one of day 2.
I bet he would have went mid-second round.
Right? Oh my God. What a mess!
If he went mid-second round, then they wouldn't have gotten him either.
But then again, so did A.D. Mitchell.
He was the best wide receiver on the board at the time.
I disagree. I think Mitchell has a way higher ceiling. He actually could be a wide receiver 1 if he gets his shit together. And you know what? If he doesn't, you already have Xavier Worthy.
Right.
Oh, they should have drafted Xavier Worthy.
And then trade for Samuel or
even though I don't think he's going to do well.
The 49ers are getting rid of.
Even the Giants figured out at least a little how to deal with how to use a very fast.
All right, you guys are talking about way too much about the potential next topic, by the way.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry.
All right. Oh, we got a next topic. Ready?
Do it.
Come on, baby. Let's do next topic. Come on, baby. Let's do the next topic.
Yeah.
Mark, I really love that you're coming prepared.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's really great. I'm really enjoying it.
All right, we can now daydream of the future of our beloved teams. Now, according to the NFL draft guru, Mel Kiper himself, he gave the best grades to the Cardinals and friend of the show, Jeff Stoltzfus's Eagles.
Really?
Meanwhile, the Giants, Bills, and Pats all got fairly decent grades, but Nate's Vikings got a barely passing grade. Now, the worst grade by most experts went to the Falcons, who inexplicably chose Michael Penix Jr. at number 8 overall after signing Nate's former lover, QB Kirk Cousins, to $100 million guaranteed.
Does that make
everyone, Who do we think had the best NFL draft, and how do we like our teams after? How do we like our teams after they drafted?
Nate, just to start off, does the whole ridiculous thing with Penix Jr. make you feel better or worse for losing Kirk Cousins?
Better.
Okay.
Because I feel like the Vikings or the Falcons have just like no idea what they're getting, and that makes me feel better too because I don't know if his Achilles gonna heal like that. I think that's like their backup plan.
That's what scares me about this. Maybe they did that knowing like, oh, he's not healing fast enough.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, what are you gonna do? Throw Penix in there first game? Like he's not ready for that.
Yeah.
Which I mean, he can spin the ball. Don't get me wrong. I loved watching him in the playoffs. But I mean, if we want to talk about Kirk Cousins, I liked him. He's a great seasoned quarterback, but like
he's a great fantasy quarterback.
how can you make that
An
Yes, he
okay
is.
fantasy?
How
He's
can
an
you make
okay fantasy quarterback.
Quite
how can you make that
Justin
much
Jefferson.
money? Yeah, and
Yeah.
not
He's
get
so
paid?
average.
I don't know.
Pete Kirk Cousins is the guy that you wanted. Is the example of the guy who you wanted to use to change our scoring in fantasy football because he scores very well, but he's incredibly average.
Yeah. But I feel like even if you adjusted the scoring how I wanted, he would still score it well. He's just, I don't know how, he just ends up always scoring well.
I mean, and I guess the fact of it is, how does Kirk Cousins play without Justin Jefferson?
Right.
We're about to find out.
Well,
I mean,
who is Falcons wide receiver one?
I think that the Falcons, while the Falcons have gotten a lot better at their skill players, Kyle Pitts, the man who was never fired.
They do have yes.
They do have Kyle Pitts. Is that what you're going to say to me?
He's the one tight end in the league with enough talent to potentially be the next
Don't
Travis
give up on
Kelce.
Kyle Pitts.
I will never abandon Kyle Pitts.
So Nate, what do we think of JJ McCarthy?
I'm hopeful, but like, what else am I going to be? Right? He didn't have to throw the ball as much at Michigan. He could just hand the ball off. He had a great offensive line and a great running back. Right? So
all he's going to do is throw the ball in the air, and Justin Jefferson is probably going to catch it.
yeah, but he's always picking up the coverage. But I do love the fact that we have Jordan Addison too. I think last year Addison's huge.
I was so jealous of
and you got
Minnesota
Hawk. You got
drafting him
TJ
last
Hawkinson
year.
And he's hurt, but he'll be back
He'll be
mid-season. Yeah. So yeah, Addison.
Here's a problem I guess I
Osborne.
see is that your quarterback room was a mess last year once Cousins went down, right?
Yeah, they couldn't figure out. Yeah.
It's still a mess because either JJ plays or you play Sam Darnold.
You can't play him. You can't play him at first.
You can't play Sam fucking Darnold.
You can't
Jesus
play Sam
Christ.
No, the Jets
They're
broke
going-
him. I feel so
then
bad for
JJ
Sam Darnold.
plays.
Keep in mind, though,
Yeah.
wait, you also picked up Aaron Jones in the offseason, right?
The running back.
Yes, they have.
There's your
Aaron
running
Jones.
game.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
still good, right? He's not that
He's
old.
He's not the Aaron Jones of a few years ago.
Well, no, but I mean,
and he's definitely
years
not-
ago when the Vikings picked up Sam Bradford.
Yeah.
Sam Bradford. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
I know. So like that was such like a
One of their
weird
worst
pickup.
picks ever.
Wow.
Yeah, that was also like a bad pick. But like when he started the Vikings, he was actually like pretty solid. I was like, okay, y'all could bring him back. We let him walk again. And I think that's when we picked up Kirk Cousins. But
Who's
like
that? Expatriate Harry Neal.
Oh, or and kill Harry.
N'Keal Harry.
N'Keal Harry, yeah. And kill Harry.
Sweat Montez.
Yes.
Sweat Montez. Yep.
So
Sweat
guys,
Montez.
can I propose?
I'm personally more excited about our second pick with the Dallas Turner outside linebacker pick.
Yeah?
Okay.
We need to pick up.
Yeah, you need someone on defense, right?
Right. Because our defense has been so trash for so many years.
Yeah.
Because Kirk Cousins scored 30 points a game and lose.
Well, that's why the Vikings'
Lose.
point differential, despite having all those wins, was so low.
Right. They won like 8 games by 1 point that 1 year, 2 years ago.
I remember that.
Ridiculous. So replacing Danielle Hunter, and then we got a cornerback.
Danielle Hunter, that's a huge loss.
Yeah, he's an animal.
So I read multiple sources that a lot of people believe that Theo Johnson was one of the biggest steals of the draft on the Giants, who picked up, thinking that maybe Darren Waller isn't going to play, picked up a futures tight end that could be a top guy. I still, and I said this on the last show, though, I think Malik Neighbors, while being a really, really talented guy, I think he just fizzles in New York. I mean, Daniel Jones is just not good enough. Period. Hard stop. Right.
You didn't pick up one single offensive lineman in the draft?
You've taken your first small step into a larger world. Admitting that.
I mean,
How do you
just-
wait? Offensive line was clearly your number one issue, and you don't pick up one single lineman in the draft.
It's the Giants. What do you expect?
The big giant who went on with the Chargers. What was his name?
Oh,
the big giant.
Yeah, they picked him like 4th or 5th overall, right?
No, it was all
no. He was lower, but he wasn't. What's his name?
I thought the Chargers were in the top 10 and picked a lineman.
His name is Alt. I think it's Joe Alt. I'm gonna look it up.
I thought it was
Joe Alt.
Joe Alt,
5th overall to the Chargers.
Yeah, it was 5th. I was right. Super high.
Joe Alt, by the way, 322 pounds.
Oof. Big boy.
That's
Who
a
isn't?
big boy.
Who isn't?
That's a big boy, and he's 6'7". Oh my god!
Got the leverage and those sides.
I want him so bad.
Try to move that. Try to move that man.
Oh, I'm so bad, you guys.
I'm looking at 6'9".
Oh yeah,
321.
Damn.
321.
So can I say we talked enough about the Bills' woes? Sorry, Mark. Do you want to go first?
No,
Mark, are you having a stroke?
I'm watching the Bruins game, and they just gave up another goal, and they're losing 2-0 to the Leafs now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hate the Leafs.
Go
Bruins.
Brad Marchand. Oh.
Yeah. Can I say though? We talked enough about the Bills. I think Mel Kiper has it wrong. Chicago, I am so excited for what they did. They transformed their entire offense in one draft.
I mean, they're instantly competitive.
They got the wide receiver that I wanted so desperately for the Bills to find out. Like Mike Ditka, the draft, who famously gave away all 7 of his picks just to move up to the first to get. It was a famous running back. I forget who it was when he was acting GM. I wanted the Bills to get Odunze. Chicago got their potential superstar quarterback of the future and Odunze in one shot, and a bunch of support. Like
top QB and wide receiver
Washington too. Yeah.
I mean, they could be a powerhouse in their division now. Overnight.
I mean, they probably should have done a little bit.
Caleb Williams is the real deal, honestly.
They probably should have done a little bit more on the defensive side of the ball too, but
yeah.
They're going to be a very exciting offense.
Yeah. And I mean, right, even if they don't win this year, like they are set up, I think, on offense long term. So address defense next year.
If you score more points than the other team, then you'll win.
The Patriots picked up
Drake May.
Drake May. Yeah. Talk about your Pats. How did they do?
I mean, we're at time.
We're
not
at time.
Talk about Pats.
And I don't want to talk about the Pats. I still say they should have gotten Marvin Harrison Jr. over a quarterback, but what do I know?
I was 50-50 on whether they were going to do that or not.
All right.
Who's wide receiver 1? Never mind, sorry.
Who's wide receiver 1? I don't know. I think a 40-year-old Julian Edelman was probably wide receiver 1 if he comes back. All right. Sorry, hold on.
Would still be better than Gabe Davis.
I got a feeling.
Woo-hoo. Oh, sorry, that's really bad.
That we're gonna go to the next topic. Yeah, we're gonna go to the next topic. Yeah, we're gonna go to the next topic.
Tonight's the night.
No, we have to pay. Stop it.
Sorry. We gotta stop. We'll owe too much money, or we'll get sued. All right, let's go.
It's all right. Nobody listens.
We'll get sued.
The YouTube robots are not that smart. Sorry, YouTube robots.
If we sing it off key enough, they never know.
Guys, I got to get to this question. I've been hanging on to it because it hasn't made sense for so long that I've had to rewrite it every week. So let's talk about the Yankees. And so while I am perfectly aware of how early it is in the MLB season, after a red-hot start, the Yankees and the Red Sox have started to look like they're supposed to. The Yankees still clinging to the top of, well, not anymore, but to the top of incredibly difficult AL East at 20-13, are tied for the lead, now get down a game, to the surging Baltimore Orioles, with the surging Red Sox on their tails. The Yankees still have some bright shiny spots. They are. They're in third place by a game. You guys were in last for a minute, but now the Devil Rays have totally sucked up everything. So there are some bright shiny spots in the Yankees that I'm very excited about, specifically the action man Juan Soto, who is playing for his next year's contract. and all that we were promised in Anthony Volpe, who for a little while was winning the batting title. He isn't anymore, but he's still hitting over 300. So with no real pitching to speak of, can the Yankees keep up this pace? Do we expect them to falter as they typically do over the summer? And what other exciting players should we be watching? Across the MLB if you guys want.
John, what month is it again?
Shy face. Let me have this.
It's not October.
Let me have this.
I mean, the fact that they've been doing so well without their without Garrett Cole, yeah.
Without pitching. They have no pitching.
But keep in mind, the warmer it gets, the hotter the bats get. So you're gonna need some pitching. How's Rondon doing?
I mean, he doesn't suck.
It's better than sucking.
Yeah.
Carlos Rodon, who they paid literally all the money to, who pitched like 10 games last season and lost 9 of them.
And getting paid like $300 million.
So much money, so much goddamn money. I don't think it was 300, but it was at least.
No, it's quite not. Yeah.
He's quite.
Over how many years is that?
I think it was 7. Was it 7?
Okay, that's still a shit ton of money.
I mean, it's at least $20 million a year, right?
Yeah, let's look up the Rodon contract.
Pretty sure. I want to say it was like 7 years, $150 million.
So the Yankees were so hot, 6-year, 162. So.
Oh, I wasn't close.
The Yankees were so hot for a starting pitcher.
It's actually worse.
2 seasons ago that they gave Carlos Rodon all that money after one good season.
Very good contract year. Gotta love contract years in baseball.
Very good contract year. The problem with that is that he literally hurt himself last season before baseball even started, and he didn't play till August. That was very sad.
I don't even remember him playing last year.
Pretty bad.
He's 2-2 this. He's 2-2 this season. His ERA is a touch high at 3.68.
Yeah,
I think
that's a touch high, especially if he's $160 million man.
A scotch high at 3.68.
Dude, wouldn't you want your
by the way, that's like $25 million a year.
The 2s if you're paying that much money.
Well, the 2s is very, very good. Like top ERAs this season are in the high 2s. So 3.68 is not
average is about like 3.5 usually.
Yeah, so he's not
3.5.
far off.
Oh yeah,
Right. So
he's
you're
average.
paying that much money.
He's
though.
a
So
20
average.
plus $5+ million average pitcher.
So my calibration for professional baseball pitching will forever be completely thrown off and uncalibrated because of this Nintendo game where you could like make your own characters, and I would pump all the pitcher stats till they had like an ERA average of like 1.5. They were just throwing 110 mile an hour fastballs through the
Pete,
first 4 innings.
I love your baseball insight. I really do.
Great insight. Great insight.
It's really good.
It's awesome. I still have that Nintendo game's music in my head.
Nice.
To this day.
I had a baseball game on my Game Boy that was like very addicting. I don't think I had a 1.5 ERA with anyone, but I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I miss my Game Boy.
This is
I think I should bring that back.
Didn't exist. I created him.
Back then?
Yeah, they kept stats.
It's like the old.
I want to bring back my Sega Genesis too. I still have that in the closet somewhere.
Yep. I miss those days.
So anyway, the AL East looks like it should, right? Except for the Orioles, who are very good, but
are the Orioles on top right now?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
It's very close between first and third between the Orioles. By the way, Pete, thank you for paying attention again.
Sorry, I know.
The Sox, Yanks, and Orioles are all very close to each other.
Essentially the same record.
The Jays and the Rays, though, who knows what's going on with them? I don't know if they know the season started yet.
The Rays definitely don't.
Who's the worst team in baseball right now? The White Sox?
Oh, no, the Marlins.
The Marlins and the Mets.
No, the Mets were winning. The Mets have been winning.
Really?
The Mets
terrible start, but then all of a sudden they started winning.
Bad start. Yeah, what's his face? Carlos Santana got thrown out of a game yesterday because somebody on the Cubs was blocking the plate, and he was like, "But he's blocking the plate, just blocking the plate." So he was arguing. I mean, I said this before. The umps this season, the MLB have been really, really atrocious. Really atrocious, actually. Just throwing out Aaron Boone for absolutely nothing but being a Yankee.
Oh my God.
Which, in some states is illegal, but
You know who's in
Anyway.
second place of the
You know the
AL
name-
Central? The Kansas City Royals. What is
it
what
time for
wrong?
them to win a World Series again? They do like every 10 or 15 years, right?
10 or 15, yeah.
Actually, I was wrong. The worst team is the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, I'm looking at the divisions right now. I didn't realize Houston was so bad.
Yeah, the Mets are over 500 now. Good job, Jeffem.
Wow.
All right.
Better
Is
than
it time?
last year.
Better than
Yeah.
last year.
We can move on.
Doesn't the Mets have like the highest payroll too?
Last
Besides
year
the
they did,
Dodgers.
yeah.
Okay.
They just decided to give $40 million to like all the
Oh,
old
and
pitchers.
and Mark, because I love you, I just wanted to let you know that Mookie Betts is hitting 377.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Oh. Oof. He's so good.
Yeah, 377 with 6 home runs. And
I'm not crying or crying.
A slugging percentage of 623. Why the fuck did you trade Mookie Betts? What did you? Jesus Christ, Mark. What the fuck?
You know, again, the Red Sox wanted to cut payroll. They're like the 11th highest like payroll in the major leagues.
This is
right
the best player in baseball.
now. I know that.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
The one game I went to Fenway while we were traveling for CGen, it was Chris Sale pitched 8 innings, had 15, 16 strikeouts, whatever it was, and lost.
Oh, that
Lost
sucks.
I can top that. I saw Pedro Martinez against the Rays strike out 17 and lost 1-0.
Oh, sad panda.
I was sitting in the stands. I'm like, there's no way he loses this game.
That was back when the Red Sox thought like, oh, we have Pedro, we don't need anyone on offense.
Yeah.
Little peanut Jose Altuve is hitting 350. He's so tiny.
They're 10-20 right now.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't think doesn't feel sorry for that.
I do
don't
not.
either. I don't
hate
either.
them.
I too. I flew through Houston the other day and I saw a bunch of Astros head and I was like, I don't like any of y'all.
Fuck those guys. Sign stealing, championship stealing assholes.
Yeah, seriously. Cheaters.
Sorry. We still like you, Houston fans, if anybody's listening in the Houston area. Anyway, we can move on.
All right, I'm trying to think of my next topic. I think I'm gonna go slow it down a little bit. Ready?
Okay, I got one too coming up actually. I think if I didn't forget it.
Oh no, you do it then. You do it then before you forget it.
Oh yeah. No, bad. We're not just doing this for the next topic. We're doing it for a shitload of next topic.
Nice.
I forget if we've done that.
I love
one
that
before,
movie.
but
I love
yes.
that movie. You may have. I don't know. As a writer, we'd like to thank another sponsor, Green Thumb Gardening Sets. Turn your backyard into a lush green paradise with Green Thumb Gardening Sets. Perfect for post-game relaxation or pre-game barbecue. Green Thumb. Grow your own home field advantage.
It's really great, Mark.
So we have discussed the trials and tribulations of the Memphis Grizzlies star Ja Morant on this show before. He began making headlines by being a very young talent from a little-known Ohio Valley Conference school, Murray State. He then got drafted by the Grizzlies and wooed the crowds and social media with his spectacular dunks. But then things turned for the worse a little bit, including multiple incidents with guns on social media and some fighting. After a couple of suspensions and an alleged stint in rehab, Morant came back this past season, but then ultimately left after a season-ending shoulder injury. Now, he's been able to stay out of the national headlines since his injury, but time will tell if he's learned anything over the years.
Time will tell.
So, everyone, how will Ja Morant rebound after his suspension and injury?
Less guns.
Less guns. Just as long as he does that. I cannot wait to go back to the FedEx Forum again. It's sad
Less
because
guns.
Nate, you're the local Memphis Grizzlies fan. Why don't you give us your take on Ja?
2 years ago, I think my wife and I went to probably 15 home games, and this year we went to 0. Went to 0.
Wow.
That's my take on it. So we're hoping. Obviously, that didn't help that Desmond Bain and Brandon Clark were out too. Steven Adams being out for the year, then trading him away. But Ja Morant's a next level talent to watch in person. He definitely moves the needle on the NBA too. So hopefully when he comes back, he stops waving guns around, which in Memphis, that's not necessarily frowned upon, but in the national media of the NBA, It is.
Well, it's literally in the collective bargaining agreement. Like,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not allowed to, you're not allowed to do
He's
that.
Don't
absolutely in the wrong.
don't brandish weapons.
Yeah, I'm not giving him any grace at all there. That was
No.
super stupid. But the couple games that he was back before he injured his shoulder, I mean, even shorthanded job with just Jaren Jackson, he willed us to like 3 games out of 5. That gave us hope. So I listened to.
He's an amazing talent.
He is.
It's amazing talent.
It's unbelievable.
And he makes everyone around him better too.
The only concern I have with him, he reminds me of Derrick Rose with the way he hops. And I feel like he's going to get hurt
about his knee. Yeah.
Knees. Yeah. I wish he would develop a mid-range game to where he would just stop instead of just trying to dunk on everybody every time.
Historically, when you have a player, right, that just lights out and goes through this whole scandal, misses like a year, then gets hurt, then misses more time. I mean, do they ever come back as good as they were before with that much time lost? Or maybe they do, but it might take some time.
Yeah, it definitely depends.
What do you feel? Do you think this guy, is he young enough to where I think he could just...
Oh, absolutely, he's young enough.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, Nate brought a great example, Derrick Rose. I mean, he phenomenal player, probably top 5, 10 maybe at the time when he was on the Bulls, but then he got hurt and he wasn't the same after that knee injury. Now, he did make a little bit of a kind of a re-emergence when he was on the Knicks.
Let's hope he does it next year because he plays for the Grizzlies.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize he was still in the NBA.
Yeah, he's back in Memphis. It's funny.
You know what? Go ahead.
Well, it's funny. My sister was at a basketball game the other day for her son, and Derrick Rose's son plays on that same team. And my other nephew was sitting there just taking a picture of Derrick Rose. I'm like, that's cool.
One thing that I thought was really good for not Derrick Rose, John Morant was the Grizzlies traded for Marcus Smart, the former kind of tough guy on the Celtics. And I miss Marcus Smart. To this day, I still miss Marcus Smart. But I thought it would have been good for John Morant to have that veteran guy essentially put him in his place if he started acting like a fucking tool.
Yeah. And that's kind of, I think that's what the front office did with Derrick Rose and Marcus Smart, too. And we needed another bruiser on defense for hence Marcus Smart after losing dumbass Dylan Brooks. Such a villain.
Oh my God. I don't know if anyone likes Dylan Brooks anymore.
Yeah. Not after he left Memphis. The only people that liked him were Memphis fans.
Definitely LeBron's balls is not like Dylan Brooks.
No, I think Ja, though, I mean, obviously I'm skeptical because I'm a Grizzlies fan here in Memphis. I hope the best for him. I hope his shoulder's good. He dunks the ball more than he shoots the ball anyway, so I don't know how much he needs shoulder to shoot.
Well, the man has an incredible vertical, so
yeah,
more power to him that he can do that.
Yeah,
you know what? I
guess
actually think
his legs are okay. That's true.
I think he needs to be like a 1A or a 2. I don't think he should be the number 1 option on the team. Because while he is a very good point guard in the fact that he can score and he can pass the ball, I don't think he should be your first option.
For scoring, no. But I mean, kind of. He's going to break down.
He has to be the first option right now,
yeah.
though.
Yeah, he's going to break down this first defender every time. No other point guard should be able to stay in front of him. It's when he gets in the lane where we're surrounding him with shooters now. Desmond Bane obviously is the best one on the team. Jaren Jackson's been better too in the post. We just need a big man. Steven Adams being hurt.
So, how do you feel about this a good big man? Dorian Finney-Smith trade that they just did? The Grizzlies.
I missed that.
Great point guard on the Nets, but I guess in just to bring it back to New York, the Knicks got very good and recently, not recently, but Jalen Brunson and a real point guard, like a real scoring, passing, like a center offense point guard, has really helped them be relevant again. And I like to say it's the first time that the Knicks have had a good point guard since the 90s, right? And so the last
Jalen Brunson's awesome to watch.
Jalen Brunson is lights out, awesome.
Yeah,
but I don't know. With Morant coming back and with somebody who really can motion the ball like Finney-Smith, I think it's a good trade for them.
It's the West next year is going to be so stacked.
So stacked. Well, it depends. Free agency is going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. I don't know if Durant is going to be on the Suns next year.
I'm not worried about the Suns being relevant.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
stay together too.
That was a terrible experiment.
It was bad. Did you see Ishmael's
It wasn't
comments
great
today? Yeah, he was like, any other GM across the league would want this team, and we're like, no, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't.
We're at time.
I think that's
Also,
a
I'm
good
distracted by the
spot
game.
to
It's the
end
fourth
too.
quarter.
Yeah,
I was gonna say how much time is left in this game?
it's tied
10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Who's winning?
The Knicks are.
Maybe I should put it on then.
And they were up 3.
And it's a tie.
Oh shit!
I told you. I told you this series had a possibility of going 7 games.
They should have fucking won it. We're gonna talk about it right now.
They should have won it before.
All right, Mark, do you have this next topic or?
Oh, no, I don't know. If you have it, I can.
Well, I
have a whole list.
In honor of Nate's ducks in the back wall, we should just do the Mr. McD soundbite.
Are you gonna play?
Where's it? Sorry, yeah, I didn't have it. Where's our next topics?
We're anxiously awaiting. What? You don't see the soundboard?
No, I don't have it.
All right, I'll play it.
I'm
Hold
sorry
on.
about that next
There
topic,
it is.
Mr. McD.
There it is.
Now I gotta scroll
Pete,
back.
that was awesome. And so the aforementioned New York Knicks are currently fighting for their, well, not for their lives. The Sixers are fighting for their lives, but 88-88 with 9 left in the fourth. But everyone's going to have to get used to a weekly New York Knicks question until the NBA playoffs move on without them, or they're over. In a heart-wrenching loss on Tuesday night in Game 5, the Sixers flipped the script, scoring 6 points in the final 28.2 seconds of the game, which was culminated by a Tyrese Maxey three-pointer from half court. Having already lived through this in the 90s and the faded Reggie Miller comeback, I turned off the game knowing the result, and the Knicks did end up losing 112-106 in overtime, and now need to head back to Philly to try to close out before the fear of elimination themselves. So, my only question when I watched this game was, why didn't the Knicks foul Maxey before he got to half court? So, and modern basketball is a little bit torn on this, but if he makes both foul shots, you still have a 1-point lead in the final seconds and the statistical advantage to put the game away. Have modern NBA coaches moved away from this practice?
Modern NBA coaches, no, because more of them really want to foul before that 3-point attempt. Personally, I don't. You play defense. You play defense.
Yeah,
I mean, they win the game if they win the game if they foul.
You knew who was going to shoot the ball.
We're from fucking half court. Jesus Christ!
Yes,
a high pick from Embiid, and he drains it from the friggin' logo.
I mean, all right. God. To be fair, yes, that was a great shot. That was a good shot. I'm sorry, but in the last moments of a game, and with a little bit of time on the clock, yes, you are on his ass.
100% you foul.
What do the analytics say about that? Because
the analytics say foul him.
Because you give him the 2 points when you're still up by 1, right? And
he can still miss.
And that takes more time off the clock.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, he could miss he can make the first and then miss the second on purpose.
Yeah, like when there's
I think the safer play is you just defend it. But there's no defense in the NBA anymore. There's no defense in the NBA. So
yeah.
And Maxey, by the way, in that game, he scored 46 points. 46 points.
That's
so
wild.
The Sixers are.
Well, that's because Embiid decided he didn't want to play.
Yes, the Sixers are winning games on the backs of their best players, which happens in the NBA, right? Happens all the time. Like, we won game 4 because Brunson scored 45. I don't know. The game is. This series is incredibly physical right now. Everybody's. I mean, I was literally watching the game tonight. Everybody's just running around crazy. Everybody's on the ground. I have never seen an as physical first round of the NBA playoffs, honestly.
Good. It's good.
Oh, I have.
It's good. I mean, they're exciting, right? They're fun to watch. Yeah. The Celtics aren't rolling, and now with Porzingis down, what do you think is going on there?
You know, they actually, someone rolled off a stat. They actually have a better record without Porzingis.
Really?
Yeah. Now, I think that's a little bit biased because you're not playing playoff caliber teams every single time. And more than likely they're gonna face either the Magic or the Cavs next round, of which they probably don't need Porzingis for that.
I'll tell you, Mark.
I think they still walk into the finals, but they're gonna need Porzingis against
Mark. The show
Jokic
really,
and Dallas.
all of our many fans, they really want a Knicks Celtics and Eastern Conference Finals.
No, I think only you want that.
I'm really hoping for that.
I mean, let's see. Now it looks like the Pacers are potentially going to beat the Bucks, because the Bucks don't have any of their players anymore. It actually did happen
today. Yeah, it happened today.
For whatever reason, the Pacers are just a totally different team when games matter. I mean, they're the ones that won the midseason tournament.
Yeah.
And now Halliburton has been hurt a little bit, but I don't know if he played.
Lakers won the midseason tournament over the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, you're right. But I mean, no one expected the Pacers to get that far.
Yeah.
I mean, they look like a totally they look like a totally different team in the regular season, but now the playoffs are here and they've just stepped it up.
Granted, though, Milwaukee is like banged up as can be. No Dame, no Giannis.
Yeah, no Dame, no Giannis. And when your number one option is Chris Middleton.
Yeah, which he made some huge buckets there in that other game. But no, watching Indiana play, what is it? Halliburton, their young star, he's good. Watching him
he's on another level when in games that matter.
I agree with that.
It'll be actually a very interesting matchup between him and presumably Brunson.
If they win this game.
Presumably. Well, come on, John. I know you know that they're going to win.
I hope so.
Well,
I've seen weirder shit. I've been a Knicks fan for a long time. I've seen some weird shit happen. So we're just hoping. Okay, this is the best they've been in a long
listen,
time.
Listen, if you double team Brunson all the time, who are the Knicks going to depend on scoring?
I mean, everybody's scoring. Miles McBride is scoring. What's it face? My paisan, Dominic DiVincenzo. Did you know that DiVincenzo, Brunson, and Hart were on the Villanova team at the same time? And actually, DiVincenzo and Brunson have been roommates since college.
You know what? I did not know that.
Isn't that amazing? I read that article towards the beginning of the playoffs. So they call them the Nova Knicks, which I think is really pithy. Right?
The Nova Knicks.
The Nova Knicks.
I like that.
Now what's Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That was such a stupid play.
It was a stupid play.
Oh, no, now we've lost both of them.
What's really actually kind of sad about this is they lost the law offices of Bogdan Bogdanovic. Bogdanovic went down earlier in the series, and he's not going to come back for the playoffs at all. And he was that rally guy that they got for the playoffs, right? Just a long-term NBA vet, So I don't know. This game is going to end exciting because nobody's given an inch. So I hope they just put it away because I don't really want to play the Sixers in a Game 7. Honestly,
you're going to wear out your team.
What'd you say, Nate?
It'll be at the Garden at least.
I mean, sure.
They lost Game 5 at the Garden.
I know.
But
sure,
I mean, unfortunately,
the
listen, the whole mantra behind Tom Thibodeau teams, though, is the fact that he wears these guys out. Now, thankfully, they're a young team. So they could probably bounce back. But if they do a 7-game series and then potentially another 7-game series against the Pacers.
They have to play the Celtics. Fuck my life.
Sounds like a gauntlet.
It is a gauntlet. The arena sports playoffs are just so fucking hard. Just like a lot of games, a lot of physicality, and everybody just gets beat to shit. And we're at time.
You get beat to shit.
It's a little aggressive. It's a little aggressive, Mark.
All right, Mark, you had one in the queue. That. Go for it.
I have to find one. No, I have multiple in the queue.
2 in the box, ready to go. It's time for our next topic.
We be slow. Or no, they be slow.
You want to try that again? You want to try that again?
No, we've ruined it.
Ruined forever. Tim is going to be so disappointed in you.
He's gonna. Lisa's gonna tell Tim this. We're gonna hear about it.
Yeah, we're gonna hear about it.
All right, so So the recent social media frenzy surrounding the upcoming fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson has been immensely entertaining and makes me shit my pants when I see how scary of a man Iron Mike still is.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Now-
no shit.
Now, to lots of people, it was believed that this was all for show and won't be a real fight. However, it was recently announced that this fight will be a professionally sanctioned match. So, what does that mean exactly? Well, it means that it's slated to be a legitimate fight for up to 8 rounds. And there will be drug testing, and the result will actually count towards their professional boxing records. So, everyone, do our thoughts change about a Tyson versus Paul fight now that it's pro-sanctioned?
I mean, I never thought it was not going to make Jake Paul be dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Nothing would make me happier to just see Mike Tyson just walk out there and just one-time him.
One punch.
Could you imagine
punch.
that?
One. It'd be so sick.
Would that?
would he fall back like the guy in Punch Out?
Yeah.
Oh right, yes.
I
Now,
want him to turn all red.
would that redeem Mike Tyson's legacy in boxing after
No,
the
it's
Evander
such a
Holyfield?
fucking joke.
It's so weird. No, but like if he
No.
comes back 20 years later, 30 years later, and just wallops this guy,
The whole world's probably asking for him to do too.
yeah.
All right. I just looked up the weights. I guess Tyson has historically been 220. We don't know what he is now, but he's still a heavyweight.
Yeah.
And Jake Paul is actually a lot heavier than I thought he was. He's apparently about 200 pounds, but that's still not the same weight class.
Still puts him in
No.
cruiserweight.
Yeah, that's not the same weight class.
And like,
So I don't know
Jake
what that
Paul,
means.
Yeah.
the difference between Jake Paul's training and Mike Tyson's training, Jake Paul pretending to train for boxing and Mike Tyson training for boxing. I don't see.
Some of the videos of Mike Tyson out there training, I'm like, oh my god.
I know. He still looks like he's like he did
My
back when he was in his
ankles.
20s. Just so fast with his fists.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
There's no way that he doesn't punch his face off. I mean, there's just no way.
Like,
Unless
do
it's
you,
fixed,
do you guys
which it
think you're
could be
gonna?
fixed.
Yeah, I know it could be. Do you guys think you're gonna watch it? I don't know how
I
much
don't-
it's gonna cost.
Yeah,
to
so how
watch
do you
this.
get this fight like pay-per-view? Like
Yeah, pay-per-view.
you're
I'm
not
gonna watch
like
it on YouTube after it's done.
dialing on the phone
Well,
like,
yeah, so
hello,
usually
I'd like
these
to
are
watch
on
the fight now,
YouTube.
please, on pay-per-view. Like, how do you get this now?
Hold on.
Did Jalen Brunson just make 2 threes in a row?
Yeah, he is fucking fire.
Netflix. It's gonna be on Netflix.
Netflix. Wow.
What?
Oh
Okay.
shit! Do I have to get Netflix?
Oh, wait. Is this what it takes? Mike Tyson coming out of retirement after like 27 years.
There's bound to be one thing that makes me actually get a Netflix account.
That's the thing.
3 in a row. Hot take: Jalen Brunson MVP. Fuck yeah.
Well, this game for sure. If that's the third
You're
one. you just said.
behind, or maybe I'm behind.
You must be behind. Team did
You're
6 in
behind.
a row.
Ooh, someone courtside was super excited.
Hmm.
It was amazing to me that game 4, how many Knicks fans were in the crowd in Philadelphia.
You saw what they did this game, right? Like
No,
that-
I didn't.
like,
I didn't.
That company bought like 2,000 tickets that were for sale and just like were like handing them out to people in Philadelphia instead of letting Knicks fans buy them.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mark said that last week.
Anything other than letting your arena get taken
All the
over?
yeah. I mean, it matters in arena
Yeah.
sports.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
Sure. Oh yeah.
That home court advantage is super huge in basketball.
I mean, how far is New York from Philly?
2
It's
It's not that
hours.
far. Yeah, not that far at all.
exactly. Yeah.
So to finish this topic off, I don't know how much more
Right,
we can
sorry.
talk about Mike Tyson melting this guy's face, but we're all pretty much in agreement that
Gonna punch right
Yeah.
through it.
I mean, all right. How many rounds do we think this is gonna go?
Couldn't
2.
happen. 1.
one.
You think
Yeah, I don't think
first round knockout?
Do they have
Yeah.
any good undercards? Like, is there a good undercard like lineup for them, or is it just this fight?
Who knows? There probably is an undercard. No one's really paying attention to it though. One thing I have to find out. It is on Netflix, but I don't know if it's something extra on Netflix you have to pay for. Because I know like ESPN does that with their boxing matches.
And no
Do they?
shot.
Okay.
I had Netflix. No shot. I just like get that fight.
I feel that's uncharacteristic for Netflix, so I'd be surprised if it was, but then again, boxing has always traditionally been a pay-per-view event, so...
Mm-hmm.
Nate, how many rounds do you think this match is going to go?
3.
Yeah?
3, okay.
Yeah.
So we have 1, 2, and 3.
What are you going to say, Mark? And then we can move on.
So, I think it's going to go more than 3. I really do, because they have to sell the fight, and I think it's going to be fixed.
You say there's interference here by...
I think it's going to be fixed up until the 3rd round, and then after that, Tyson will get unleashed. And I'm going to say a 4th round knockout.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Although the man is old, maybe he doesn't last to the 4th round. So that's another possibility.
He's gonna have to come out swinging fast because he's gonna tire out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's that. Even he did that when he was young too. So
right.
Oh, one of the Knicks is crying.
John.
Sorry, he elbowed Hartenstein in the face, and then he cried about it.
Oh, no.
He is crying.
He's like, I didn't elbow him in the face. You did. You elbowed him in the fucking face. You can't elbow people in the face, Joel. It's illegal.
He slapped him.
He slapped him.
He just it just raked his eyes. That's like a wrestling move.
No bitch slapping in the NBA.
That's what Ric Flair does. We've totally got off topic.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very distracted. It's very important.
Let's go to the next one.
Mark,
you want to go to the next one, or do you want to?
Oh, the final one.
It's the final topic.
I love Pete's edition. The explosions
that is
amazing.
a true fact.
I mean, you gotta add an explosion to everything. It makes it more interesting.
So we haven't talked about it in a while, guys, and I know you missed it. So let's talk about AI a little bit. Yeah, let's talk about AI a little bit.
Oh gosh.
So, news organizations including the New York Daily News, Chicago Tribune, Orlando Sentinel, San Jose Mercury, and 4 others are suing OpenAI and Microsoft for copyright infringement, including as evidence are several excerpts from conversations with both ChatGPT and Copilot, showing that both chatbots reproduced lengthy excerpts of specific articles on command, indicating their training data sets included these articles. It also included Copilot searching the web in real time, finding the articles without prominent hyperlinks in the results. And so, are we watching the battle for human-created work play out between major industries? And is there a way to stop AI-generated content or to prove without a doubt that none of the work is original to begin with?
Yes and no. Next topic.
That was the end. All right, that's our show, guys.
And we're out.
Well,
yep.
You know, and so I bring it up because it's really interesting to watch big news media fight for its life, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
this is potentially a groundbreaking case here.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what happens.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is going to set a precedent. This is going to set a precedent.
Sure. I'm honestly surprised it took this long with how many journalists, right, are getting kicked out of work.
So what's interesting too is all those newspapers are owned by the same VC firm.
Yeah. So
that VC firm specifically has decided to start to put the wall up. But I mean, with rave reviews, right? Because at the end of the day, what happens here matters. Because and they have proof. This is proof that the large language models took the article pretty much verbatim, copied it, because that's how it's literally how it writes.
That's literally how it's supposed to interact, right?
Yeah.
No,
it's working as intended.
If you get rid of all this stuff, though, from what the large language model can sample from, how are you going to train it properly, though? I guess that's kind of the other side of this.
Yeah, it's the whole crux of it. It's just ingesting so much information. Yeah.
I mean, do they have to pay for access to these things? Maybe is that just what it comes down to? Is money?
Well, sure. I mean, sure. The companies IP is a funny thing, and if you can't prove that the work is original, right? If you can prove actually that it's not original, then you don't own it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're essentially, there was a case earlier in the year where they were taking one of the digital image AIs, and they were making it recreate Getty images with the watermarks by the way they were asking it to get images.
Oh, I remember that.
Know that, just to prove without a doubt that it was taking images from Getty Images and not asking for permission, right?
It's funny. It makes me wonder. So to little behind the scenes in the kind of work I do, we use a program called Nuke for visual effects and compositing. There are now workflows and nodes that use supposedly AI, and you can train the AI on your specific shot so that it learns like colors, motion vectors, animation, and things, and it then would be able to create like a matte, right? To like basically silhouette a person and separating it from the background or something, or generate some kind of called like a Z depth pass, where like you get an image that you're able to use to show like a 3D representation of a 2D image. This kind of stuff, right? What's to say that this thing is an AI training stuff, and then this data is going to some company that made the node in the first place? Like, right? When it trains it has this information, it has this image. Like, is that all being internally calculated, or is there some way that maybe it's getting out?
I think whoever decided to name this generation of whatever AI is a marketing genius, right? To add intelligence and like this zeitgeist of the science fiction and artificial intelligence that we've imagined for the last 20 years, add it to this where it has actually no intelligence in it at all. It's not having original thought, it's not coming up with things that are original, it's just it read thousands of articles, right? And really release it to the world. Hundreds of thousands of articles to learn the way humans speak, the ways humans interact. But it's doing it from print articles and things that it finds on the internet.
I mean, that's the empathy of AI, right? It's the fact that it's got to learn, right? AI is essentially an infant right now. It's got to learn from what has available, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, until we teach AI how to think, then it's a different story.
Yeah.
No, but like if it's just fancy pattern recognition,
which
is it ever thinking?
Right, and that's all it really is.
No,
right
it's
now.
not. That's all it's doing. No. Yeah,
it's
on
not.
The opposite side of the coin, isn't that how we learn? Isn't that what we're doing?
What are our brains doing?
Learned, right? We have learned
yes and no
how to write a argumentative essay from reading argumentative essays.
We have souls, John.
Right, exactly. Well, exactly. You hear something, but you don't recite it word for word. You interpret it to what you like perceive it as. Right.
Mm-hmm. So we're at work, in my work, and maybe your guys' work, but at my work, we're concerned about how, and we write a lot of programmatic documents that we release, like this program is doing this and this program is doing this. But there's like innuendo and like writing and like. So if something takes what we've written in a very careful, particular way, and it says it very definitively in like a slightly different way, that doesn't really go with the mission or the thing that we're trying to prove about like energy research or whatever. But whatever anybody is doing. Mm-hmm. So the one thing about AI and maybe even the transition of search engines that's a little scary is that a person who doesn't know better will ask a question, and that question will be answered definitively. They'll say, well, this is the answer. Period, hard stop. That's the answer. And are we better or worse for that efficiency and ease? And I think we're probably worse.
Well, it all depends on how it's interpreted, right? If someone kind of takes it for fact and without like trying to research it on their own, which we're definitely seeing more and more of today's society doing.
Which is
my whole generation takes everything at face value. Just hey, I read this. It's definitely fact. Like.
You're like, the internet lies to you guys.
Yeah, that used to happen right when you had major networks and news deliveries like Walter Cronkite, right? The amount of vetting that would happen before that stuff ever made it to the floor.
I love how you try to do the Walter Cronkite impersonation while you said Walter Cronkite.
I did that completely subconsciously because that was not on purpose.
Well, you started in your voice and then you ended in the Walter Cronkite voice.
I did not even mean to do that. I'm sorry.
Mark, Pete, that's amazing. That's amazing
Wow.
that just happened.
Okay. You also have to
What are we
sound
talking
like
about?
that in order for it to be legit information.
Oh man.
Darkest
I think
timeline.
Yeah.
I've lost
Did you know my
train of
tablet
thought.
just died at the end of the game? I'm trying to get it on my
Oh,
laptop.
no.
It's not the end.
Sad
It's not
panda.
the end of the game yet.
It's
I mean,
in there.
I just saw Jalen Brunson get triple teamed and still make a basket.
I know, it's a beast.
John, your tablet dropping it is still not as bad as Hulu, the entire service, dropping the Super Bowl with 2 minutes left. You remember that debacle?
The first year of Hulu Live,
Yeah.
we go to our friend's house. Hey, Kate and Dave,
Guys.
not your fault. Hulu's fault.
We're going to show you how
And,
awesome streaming the Super Bowl is. Like, look at us. We're Hulu. We can do this. No, you can't.
Well, so what happened is the Hulu, the
Hulu.
Super Bowl went a little late. It went longer than their time period, and they didn't pre-program that in.
Like, did they just
So
shut the
event
servers down or what? Like, oh, we're
No,
okay.
the
We're
event,
good.
The event was over, and they were just like, "All right, next event." You're like, "But the Super Bowl."
The game's
There's
still
like
going.
5 minutes left.
And it was the worst time. It was when the Eagles went up.
Oh, it was high tension.
And
Yeah. New England had the
high
ball.
tension.
They were down. I think it was like this could be the game-winning drive, and it just cuts out. Come on,
Yup.
unbelievable.
Anyway,
All right, are we ready?
I think we've
Yeah.
done it.
So that has been our topics. As a reminder, we broadcast these live on YouTube at Thursday night, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. If you can't catch us live, then feel free to watch us on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/@iftheseballspod. And don't forget to subscribe to us by tickling that little bell. We would like to thank our guests for joining us this week. Thank you, Nate.
Thanks, Nate.
Thanks so
Thanks
much,
for having
Nate.
me, guys.
It was a lot of fun.
Nice meeting y'all. Yeah.
You can follow or like us on our socials at If These Balls Pod on X, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and TikTok. Our website is www.iftheseballscouldtalkpod.com. This is Mark Pesci, and for my partner John Campagna and producer Pete Steffen, that's what we feel they would say if these balls could talk.
Go Knicks.
Bye, everyone.
Night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
If this